Hello everybody, Raven Knight here. So, it never fails. Every time For Honorr comes up in conversation on my channel, whether I'm doing a stream, or I'm doing a Warriors Den live stream, or whether I'm releasing a new For Honorr Executions Graded, there will always be at least one comment, sometimes more than that, often more than that, where people ask me my opinions on different kind of heroes coming to For Honorr. The normal ones I get are, how would I feel about a Spartan Warrior? How would I feel about a Rapier Musketeer hero? How would I feel about a Barehanded hero? How would I feel about all these different kinds of heroes coming to For Honorr? And I'll be real honest, they get a little grating at times. In fact, I hear people say that they want Spartan heroes so frequently, now I don't want a Spartan hero just to spite them, and I'm joking about that. I'm joking. I wouldn't mind a Spartan hero. In fact, what I want to do today in this video is share with you guys a couple of the heroes that I actually would like to see in For Honorr if they added them, and a couple that I really don't care to see. And I'll explain why for each one. But before we get started, there are two things that I want to say. The first one is, this is all my opinion, obviously. Obviously, if you guys disagree or you have your own thoughts on the matter, I definitely respect that and I understand your positions. But I just want to get this out there for the most part because people ask me all the time, how would I feel about this hero? How would I feel about that hero? I want to see this hero. I don't want to see this hero. And I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put it all to bed. Here are some of the heroes that I actually do want to see. And second, first and foremost, before any of these heroes, like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see these heroes, but before we get any of these heroes, I just want more Wulin heroes. Can I be real? Can we get some more Chinese Wulin heroes? I mean, we've still only got 5, and the last one we got was John Hu. It's a pretty long time ago. I'd really like us to go ahead and add some more Wulin heroes. It's not like we're dry on Wulin weapons, you know. We got plenty of Chinese weapons we can fall back on, guys, so let's see some more of those. But anyway, here are some more Outlander heroes that I think we can add if we were to add them. So here are the ones that I do want to see. Number 1, a Rajput Warrior. Now, for those who don't know what a Rajput Warrior is, they are basically Indian warriors from the land of Raj or Rajasthan or whatever you want to call it. They were basically the sons of kings, noble warriors, noble lords, and they had all kinds of different, very exotic, cool-looking weapons. I think that you could make a whole faction just out of the different weapons that these guys carried around. You've got your chakram discs, you've got your Ara coiled sword, you've got the Qatar punch daggers, you got these really big, long broadswords, you got cool scimitars and cool shields. You got a lot of really cool stuff, and there's a lot of neat aesthetic around the Rajput Warriors. In fact, the first time I saw Rajput used in anything, it was in the TV show Deadliest Warrior on Spike, and I knew nothing about them, so I did some more research on them and found that they were really, really unique, really cool warriors, and I think they'd make a great addition to For Honorr. You could definitely take advantage of their Qatar punch dagger. I think that's what a lot of people would like to see from them. I think that would look really awesome, and you could get some really cool kind of executions off of that. It'd probably be the closest thing we have to a barehanded hero that I would actually accept, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, Rajput Warrior would be goated. I would love that. Number 2, Zulu Warrior. Now let me be clear about this. I think that Medjai is cool. I like Medjai. They are awesome. I think that Medjai is a really neat looking hero. They've got good drip. Their weapon is admittedly weird, but the way they use it is kind of cool. And their overall design is nice. But there are more African warrior cultures than just the Egyptians, and I think we could touch on those. Like, we could go into the Zulu, the Zande, all these others. There are plenty of others that we could explore, and I'd love to see them explored, because I'll be real honest with you guys, we need to explore them. I think that African culture and history is something largely ignored in terms of talking about world history, and granted, I understand not a lot of African cultures gave a lot to the overall history of the world, except for Egypt and certain others, but more to the point, I think that we could explore those and really get to elaborate on them. Bring in some African historians, bring in some African culture and weaponry. I'm sure that we could find some really neat stuff, and I'd love to see that explored more. It'd be a very fun Heroes in History for me to do at the very least, because I'd actually get to explore something that I'm not all that well versed in. So that'd be a lot of fun, and I think it'd be a really neat hero design that we could get from a Zulu or Zande or some other African style warrior. Think about the kind of stuff you could tie into that, and think about the animal motifs. I mean, when we got the Aztec jaguar, we got a cool jaguar kind of theme. Imagine getting a lion kind of theme, or a elephant kind of theme, or something like that. And like, you could get that too. Like, there's some cool ideas here, and I think we're sleeping on it. And then finally, a Spartan Warrior. Okay, so let me be clear. Everyone has told me how much they want a Spartan Warrior, and I think it would work. I think for me, I'm just kind of sick of people saying it, because okay, I think what bothers me about people talking about Spartan Warrior all the time is they always say it in the same vein. When I make a video talking about the new Varangian hero coming, or the new Mongolian hero coming, or the new Sohei hero coming, any of these heroes coming, no one wants to talk about how cool the new hero sounds, how cool Mongol or Sohei or any of them sound. They just say, no, I just want a Spartan hero. I just want a Spartan hero. And I'm like, bro, the evidence presented does not support it as a Spartan hero. Why are we talking about Spartan heroes? But if I'm being honest, having a Spartan hero would be cool. I could see that. The problem I have is the Spartans really specialized in a couple weapons. A spear and shield, a sword, and a throwing javelin. They really didn't specialize in a lot of other stuff. I know Assassin's Creed Odyssey would make you think otherwise, but no, the Spartans historically really only focus on those fundamental weapons. Now, of course, the spear and shield is very useful, but at the same time, Valkyries kind of got that. And the use of a one-handed spear in combat, well, Sohei's got that too. If you said, oh, well, we could give it to him two-handed. Okay, Nobushi's got that. Do you see what I'm kind of getting at here? We want to create a unique playstyle. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't do it. And I guarantee there are going to be people in the comment sections who hit me up with, oh, but you could do this and this and this and this and that. Look, I get it. I know you can. I'm just saying I understand the hesitance. You don't want to just throw in, hey, look, we have a Spartan who uses a spear and shield. Because the obvious question is going to be, how do they play different than Valkyrie? Are they just going to be another all-guard hero? Or are they just going to be another unblockable hero? And if you decide to take away the spear and give them a sword, okay, how are they going to play differently than, say, Warlord or Centurion? I think that there's plenty of precedence for the Spartans to be there because we've seen Griffin wearing a Spartan-style helmet. We've seen that helmet there. So I think there is precedence for a Spartan hero. And so I do believe later on in the future, maybe even next year, we might get a Spartan hero. I'm willing to put that prediction out there. But I think my issue is twofold. Number one, I understand the fear of repeating movesets because everyone complains about that. Everyone says, we don't want repeated movesets, we want unique movesets. And that was a large issue that a lot of people had with characters like Griffin and Warmonger. They were just basically repeating movesets, and a lot of people got upset about that. And I get it. I totally understand that. I understand why that's a problem for a lot of people. But that's the thing we have to consider with a Spartan hero. We got to make sure that they move and feel and fight a little differently. And I get that. I get the fact that they want to take their time with that, but I do think it could happen. My thing is, I hear it all the time. It's one of those things where it's like, at first I'm kind of game for it, but after a while I'm kind of like, okay, I got it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put it on my third tier of what I want and not top tier. But anyway, that's my reason for that. Okay. So those are the big three that I want to see. I really do want to see these heroes. Now let's talk about the three that I don't want to see. And again, I'm taking these from ones that people have told me, okay? I should have specified that at the beginning. These are all ones that people have told me in comments that they want to see. These are the three I don't. Number one, Musketeer hero. I just don't want to see that. And I'll tell you why. First of all, everyone says, oh, but Musketeers could fit so well with the Knights. Could they? I don't really know. Here's my thing. I have a lot of questions about the viability of a Musketeer in the world of For Honorr. For one thing, I don't think we need any more gun-using heroes. We've already got Pirate. I don't want to see any more of them. I think that one hero using a gun was enough. If you throw in the Musketeers, it's just one gun user too many, and I don't think that I would really enjoy that. Plus, the idea of a rapier in For Honorr. Okay, so my problem with that is largely the fact that a rapier was designed to fight against other people using rapiers. They're not swords designed for long-form, big, heavy clashes. Rapier, like, you have a musketeer fighting another person with a rapier, that makes sense. But then you have big old Shugoki come up with his literal club, swinging it. I'd love to see a dude raise his rapier to try to block that and hope the rapier doesn't bend or snap like a twig. It would not last long under that kind of abuse, and and of course people are saying, oh, come on, we've seen crazier things out of For Honorr. Yes, but my suspension of disbelief will only last so long, if I'm being honest. Secondly, the Musketeer look. You got to keep in mind that we've got to have a bunch of different armor variations for the Musketeer, like we do with all the other heroes. One thing that I hear all the time, anytime new armor variations come out, is they're all just reskins, you're not making anything unique. Okay, let's pretend for just a minute that For Honorr is capable and has the resources to release brand new unique hero skins each and every season. How the heck are they going to do that for Musketeer each and every season? I think that would be incredibly difficult considering that Musketeers kind of have a very generic, stereotypical look. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. I'm saying it'd be a little difficult to do. I'm saying that would be a difficult thing to do, and I don't think it's honestly worth it for a hero that I don't think will bring that much new to the table. Honestly, I just don't see it working. I'm not a big fan of the idea of a musketeer. Plus, I'll be honest, I just don't really like the rapier as a weapon. I know there are a lot of people who do. I'm just not a big fan of it myself. I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm not dissing it. I'm not saying it's a bad weapon. I'm saying I'm not a fan of it per se. I don't really have a lot of love for the rapier. So honestly, that's just not a hero I'd love to see. Number 2, the Maui. Now this one's a little interesting because I honestly think on some level, Maui warriors or Polynesian warriors could work. I think that you could see these. The problem I see is they're now too similar to the Aztecs. A lot of people keep saying that they want to see Native American heroes, and I'm kind of like, that's kind of what Aztec is. That's kind of what Ocelot is. And everyone goes, no, 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 we want a different kind. And I'm like, okay, all right. So describe them. Well, we want a warrior that doesn't wear as much armor, and mostly their armor is made from nature. Okay, Ocelot. They have weapons that come from nature as well, Ocelot, and their weapons like to use, bones and stone and tools within it, Ocelot. And then people go, why do you keep saying that? Because you're describing Ocelot. No, but they'd be cool because they could do the haka, that cool dance they do. Absolutely, what else? And suddenly we hit a brick wall. Not to say that the Maui couldn't bring something unique. Not to say that you think about the different kind of weapons that the Maui have. They have different kinds of weapons that I think would be really neat, and they are cannibalistic, which brings an interesting element to the table. But I honestly just feel like we hit a roadblock when we hit this point of we've got Ocelot, we've got Shaman, we have our more wild, cannibalistic, crazy kind of characters. Shaman meets that cannibalistic crazy. Ocelot meets that aboriginal sort of, nature-based warrior. I feel like those kind of meet that. I don't think we need a Maui. Am I saying we couldn't get a Maui? We could. We totally could, and I wouldn't be adverse to it. But at the same time, when we have plenty of Wulin we haven't gotten, Rajput heroes we haven't gotten, Zulu Warriors we haven't gotten, and a Spartan Warrior to boot, Maui's kind of at the bottom of that list for me. It's like, hey, I'm not jumping up and down for it. If you want it, cool. I think I should state this clearly. Again, these are my opinions. If you disagree, you're free to. But these are my opinions. I just don't really see Maui as one that I'm really all that excited about. It's not one that I am jumping up and down for. And then last but not least definitely least actually, Barehanded hero. I made a whole video about how I don't think barehanded heroes would work in this game. Because, again, what this game comes down to, and they said it at the beginning of this year, this game is about weapons. Every time they come up with a new hero, they look at the weapon first and then build a hero around the weapon. Barehanded hero just doesn't work for that. It does not work in a practical sense. It does not work in a realistic sense. It doesn't work in any kind of sense. I'm not saying that there aren't warriors out there who couldn't have fought barehanded, but what idiot runs out into the middle of a war zone and says, don't give me nothing, chief, I'm going out on my own. Nope, put that sword away, I don't want it, I'm going to go out and beat him with my fists. What moron does that? I guarantee you that moron won't live long. I mean, let's be real for a second here, guys. And don't get me wrong, I get it. We have cool executions where we see Shaolin going to town on an enemy with his fists. We see enemies who use really cool kicks and martial arts moves. I'm not saying it is impossible. I'm saying it's impractical and illogical. The world of For Honorr is a world of war, medieval warfare. It makes no sense for anyone to go out into a medieval war zone deliberately weaponless. If they lost their weapon, that's one thing. That's one thing. But deliberately to go out and say, I don't need a weapon. I go, well, you're dead. And you deserve to die. That's really stupid of you. What moron says, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight this dude with a giant axe. Imagine Highlander with his huge sword going up against this dude who has no armor, no weapons, just his fists, and goes, I'm ready to take you. And Highlander goes, okay. Now, of course, there are going to be people who go, well, look at the way Shaolin parries. Shaolin parries by using his arm guard. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. And I think that's just as stupid. But at least that's one character. That's one character with that one issue. We're going to have another character who's going to have the same issue. Now, I know that there are some people who have made videos about how they think this could work, and I'm not saying you couldn't make it work. The For Honorr motion cap team could totally make it work. I'm a martial artist. I get it. I'd be willing to mocap it. The problem is, I don't think it would make sense. I don't think it's a good idea for a game that's built itself around weapons and weapon masters for them to throw in a character who doesn't use weapons. I just think that's silly. I just do. And again, you're free to disagree. That's fine. I'm just telling you my thoughts. So, this is the list of the characters I would actually like to see in the Outlanders and the characters I would not like to see, based on what people have told me they want to see. Now, I fully expect that in the comment section I'm going to hear three kinds of comments. Either people who respectfully agree or disagree, people who are about to tell me how wrong I am and how awesome a Musketeer, Maui, or Barehanded hero would be, and how wrong I am about how cool a Zulu or Spartan or Rajput would be, or the third, just people telling me that they want Spartan hero again. I'm just so used to that at this point. But anyway, that's my cynical video out of the way. Wanted to release something for you guys so that you guys knew that I'm not dead, just very busy and very tired. But this is just something that I've been thinking about ever since I released my Mongolian hero video, and I just saw all the people talking about these different heroes they want. I'm like, you know what? Let's just share what I'd like to see. Let me tell you guys, based on what you have said in the comments, what I'd honestly like to see and what I wouldn't like to see. So now you know. That's all I got to say. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Ta-ta.